guys. So does my truck drive better or does it drive worse ever since I lowered this truck? That's what I'm going to be sharing with you guys today in this video, guys. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video, and we are going to be talking about this because some people might be planning on lowering their truck, and if you haven't lowered your truck before, you plan on doing so. I want to share a few things with you guys today on so far. I think it's been about a good solid 7-8 months since I lowered this truck. So I did before in the past, I have went the route of having a lifted truck, so pretty much know exactly how both ride will feel in a pickup truck. So now I'm in my 2014 Ram 1500 that I bought about a year going on 2 years ago, and I got this truck lower about 7 to 8 months ago, and right now it's on coilovers in the front, Beltec coilovers in the front, Beltec lowering springs in the back, and it has, I think I have just about upper control arm on there, and I have, I think, the front steering wheel stabilizer, something like that. I think I have those. But so right now the truck doesn't have like a completely fully modified done kit on it, but this does have like a pretty good lowering kit on it right now. But I am planning on changing up a lot of things. I'm super hot right now. I gotta take my hood off a little bit. I am planning on changing up a lot of things on this truck. For now, the truck is just, it is pretty much needing some things though. But before I get into all of that, I want to say, if you guys are here for your first time on the channel, do me a huge favor, hit that like, hit that subscribe button, help support the channel. If you are already supporting the channel and you subscribe, I definitely appreciate it. I would say thank you for, subscribing to the channel. Thank you for liking, leaving the comments and stuff like that. I appreciate it. Now, this is what most people probably think. If you are lowering a truck or lifting a truck, at the end of the day, you're gonna really be losing good ride quality. Now, me personally, from my experience, what I could say is, I wouldn't technically say you will be losing a good ride quality, because there are some things you got to put into place. It depends on the quality of the lift kit or lowering kit you're going with. Pretty much that's like the biggest thing right there. So another thing to put in a factor is when you do lower a vehicle or lift a vehicle, at the end of the day, it depends on, like, another thing that plays a huge factor in your vehicle driving good is the tires and stuff. Whatever tire setup you decide to go with, that also play a huge role into that. So from my experience, personally, does this truck drive better than it did before I lowered it, or does it drive worse? Honestly, guys, I'm keeping it 100 with you. I'm keep it 100 with you guys, man. Be honest. If you have this same exact truck, and I know most people tend to lower them, and what I could tell you from my experience, not just from whatever somebody else say or this and that, what I'm experiencing, like, personally, what I could say is, number one thing you got to keep, like, if you are planning on going this route of lowering any kind of vehicle, even if you're lifting, you got to have a good quality lift kit or lowering kit. That's what really going to depends on how good your truck going to drive at the end of the day. Because if you go with if you end up going with a shitty lift kit, your truck going to drive like shit. If you go with a good quality lift kit, your truck going to drive very smooth, and you're not going to have any kind of major issue later on down the line. So that really comes down to biggest thing that most people don't pay. I feel like a lot of people don't might not pay attention to is the fact that that lift kit or lowering kit you are putting on that truck is what really going to determine how good that truck going to drive. Me personally, I like going with name brand, good quality stuff, like the best one of, a few of the best in the gamers and stuff like that. And I think Beltec definitely one of them out there that you can go with if you are planning on lowering your truck. Now, next thing will be your tire setup. Now, if you are going lower, tire setup definitely is important too. Or if you're going higher, tire setup is important. Now, this truck right now has, I think these are like it's like the NATOs or NETOs, whatever they call. I forgot exactly which kind it were, but these are these are summer and winter tires, and they pretty much drive. In my personal opinion, when I first installed the lift kit on this truck, these tires was on this truck before, so I bought them brand new, and they were on the truck before I did all of the lowering and stuff like that. And what I could say, what it really comes down to is, like, I would say that the truck does drive better, in my personal opinion, than what it did before. Why I'm saying this, because I definitely feel like when you compared to anything being higher, the higher you going up with a vehicle, the more you're gonna feel, especially when you are going around like a sharp turn, or especially if you are probably, let's say if you going over some kind of bump or something like that. Don't get me wrong, you do bounce a lot, a lot with the truck being lower, but I definitely could say that if I'm on like a smooth road, this truck would drive pretty smooth. And the crazy thing is that this truck doesn't have everything it needs yet. Meaning that I've done upper control arm, the front, I think front sway bar I got on there, and pretty much that's about it. Like, I really don't have, and then I have the coilover setup on the front, but I do have to do upgraded lower control arm. Plan on doing a more of a beefier style. I forgot the effing name of it, but I am planning on upgrading much more stuff on this truck, because my alignment too is kind of like, my alignment is fine though, but I think it's because the truck is lower too. But I definitely want to have it as very, very smooth as possible. But if you are wondering though, I would say this though. I definitely feel like when I had my truck lifted up before, obviously it wasn't this truck. It was my third generation Dodge Ram. It was a 2006. I had it on that was like a 9.5-inch lift. So let's just say 10-inch lift. And now I would say this is a prime example of why your wheels you put on your truck, tires and stuff, definitely matters, right? Because that truck was on a 10-inch lift, right? This is like a picture of it right here. I think, yeah, this is a picture right here. So that truck was on like a 10-inch lift, somewhere, I think 9.5, somewhere like that. So I end up going behind, like I'm saying, like way behind, like the point of the tire setup. They were super wide. Those was 22 by 14s. And they were way past what I was supposed to put on that truck. And also, I would say though, going over bumps when that truck was lifted up was one of like the worst things, because like I could feel every bump. It definitely was a very, very rough ride, because too, like the truck, don't get me wrong, I did had to change up some things, because that was like a lift kit that I went with. I don't think that they were like one of the best, and I ain't gonna say they not like one of the best, but they definitely one of the well-known ones out there. I think it was like ProComp or something like that. That was their name. ProComp lift kit. So I'm trying to think what exactly I had on there. So it was ProComp, so it was a 6-inch lift with like a 6 or 7-inch lift with like a 3-inch spacer. And then also you got to take this into consideration, because the tires on there too also add probably like 1 inch or 2 to the truck. And it was I think those tires was pretty big. Those were 22 by 14s, guys. I'm telling you, super wide and super big. So all of those things that I did play a factor into how that truck was driving, because when that truck was stock, when I first bought it, it was driving very smooth. Don't get me wrong. then it was like a pretty much like a very nice truck, you know, when I got it, before I start doing all of those stuff. But I definitely do feel like if you're gonna, lifting a truck does like kind of like make the ride a little bit more worse, I'll say honestly. But it depends on how you're going though. Same thing with lowering. I don't want to sound like I'm, you know, being biased or anything like that, but lowering, like if you're gonna lower anything or lift anything, you just gotta take into consideration of you finding that right height. Like right now with this truck, I personally think that if you have one of these trucks, you got a 4-wheel drive, you shouldn't be trying to go any lower. This right now, being where this truck is at, I think it's at a 2.4 drive. You shouldn't have to go any lower with a pickup truck. Like that's when you really gonna go below that red line. Like you're gonna have a very, very shitty drive. You're gonna feel every bump. Everything gonna scratch the F up. This is like the height right here, I'll say. If you're gonna lower, this is the height you wanna go. Because you're still gonna have that good ride quality that you want, and it's not gonna be as bad as you would think. But I definitely would say the biggest thing you gotta keep into consideration is the kind of lift you're going with and your wheels and tires setup. Pretty much those are like the two key things I'll say for you to really focus on if you really concerned about, you know, your ride quality and stuff like that. But with that being said, guys, that's about it. I'm gonna end this video. I appreciate your time. If you haven't subscribed already, do me a huge favor, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. I would definitely appreciate it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, stay safe, peace out.